Hello everybody, and I hope you're having a nice week. Now, Power Herald is finally in the meta, and not only is it in the meta, it's actually one of the very strongest builds in the entire game. And this version is, believe it or not that hard to learn. So today I'm going to showcase the build and then commentate over a ranked PvP match so we can learn a little bit about how this build is played. And before we begin, if you're new here, I just want to let you know that I upload 4K PvP and World v World videos just about every single week. If that sounds like your type of thing, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. And I've also got a guild for PvP or World v World enjoyers to join, linked in the description. So here's the brand new and improved Power Herald build. The idea of the build is we're taking the spear, the sword, and the shield. We're going to take the invocation trait line, the retribution trait line, and the herald trait line. We're not going to be the most high damaging version of Herald. We're not going to be the most mobile version of Herald. But we're going to be a very tanky version of Herald. We're going to have really high resolution uptime, which is going to give us that might, which is going to give us damage. Our shield is going to cleanse lots of conditions for us. We're just going to be generally very tanky. The Relic of the Zephyrite is really nice because it gives us that protection and resolution whenever we use an elite skill. And our elite skill, Facet of Chaos, which is our glint wings, really combos nicely with this. The rune is kind of up in the air. Rune of the Revenant is used quite frequently, but you can take something that has more damage if you feel like you want to do more damage. You can take something that has a little bit more sustain, like for instance Rune of the Dolyak if you want to be a little bit tankier. And the sigils are typically personal preference, but here is what I happen to have equipped. Now, one thing you need to know in order to play Spear Revenant is that you need to go into the general options and you need to find the combat/movement header, go to ground targeting and select instant. The reason that you need instant is because if you're on any other setting, the Spear 4 will land where the start of your Spear 4 casts. See, it landed right there. However, if we change this setting to instant cast, then we can drag the Spear 4 mid cast and it will land wherever we have our mouse at the end of the cast. So this is very important to be able to hit moving targets, people who are running, juking, that type of thing, to have instant cast enabled. So let's go ahead and take a look at a ranked PvP gameplay. Okay, so let's go ahead and watch a PvP game. Now, I don't need to explain this to a lot of you, but I'm not the very best at Guild Wars PvP. It's just something that I enjoy doing, and I've done a heck of a lot of it, so don't expect me to be perfect. I show my fails and my screw-ups, which there are many, and we talk about them and we try to learn from them and see what we can do to improve together. So, okay, looking at the start of this match, I'm always looking at my map, my mini-map, which is in the bottom right-hand corner of my screen, to see where my team is going. And we can see that we have one teammate who is at our home node, one teammate is pushing the far node, and then I've got two teammates here with me at mid. Now I'm taking a look across mid to see what we're up against, and I notice a Berserker with a lot of signets on his bar. I take that to basically say that he's rifle and he's power. So he's a very bursty boy, so we need to focus him, and that's exactly what I do. I get the knockdown with the glint wings, and I combo that with some spear damage and get the down very quickly on him. And I pivot immediately to my map to see what's happening with my team, and I can see that there's a Mesmer dying, an enemy Mesmer who's killing my friend over at our home node, so I teleport in here quickly. I couldn't save my friend's life, but I do think I can probably secure the down on this Mesmer, and so I go for him here. And now I just need to follow this up, but I'm in an outnumbered situation, right? When I was going in there, my teammate was down. And so basically I need to play this very defensively. I put my shield block up to block his spear damage. That Mesmer spear is very scary. And now I need to continue to play carefully. But if you look on my minimap, you can see I do have a teammate coming in here to give me the plus. So I can go back up to the node and fight over the node because I have a teammate coming. So I'm going to get up on the node. Now my teammate's going to help me. But very quickly my teammate goes down a second time, so I need to teleport off of the node again and get to a kiting spot. So I go up onto here and I pause for a second to use my heal, and I see an opportunity to get the Mesmer, but I catch a shot from the Berserker. So really what I should have done there is played a little bit more slowly. When I had the cover of the shack, I should have paused for a moment and regen some health before going to burst the Mesmer. I find oftentimes when I'm watching newer players' gameplay, they play a little bit too fast-paced, a little bit too frantically, and I myself am not immune to that criticism. I think that sometimes I try to make decisions a little bit too quickly, and they end up costing me, and that was a scenario where I think I was just thinking a little bit too quickly. Now, here's a moment where everybody can have a laugh at me. I think I have my spear equipped, but I actually have my sword, so I'm like flinging abilities frantically, trying to get this this cleave on this downed guy. I get blinded, and we do end up actually downing the druid. And look at this. Oh, look at the damage from the berserker. That's why you got to be careful when you see those power berserkers, man. They can just absolutely chunk you. Like, luckily we are a pretty tanky build, but you know, if you're playing anything that's not as tanky as we are, and you make one wrong step around one of those berserkers, man, it can be over in a second here. So I'm taking a quick look up at mid, seeing where I want to engage this fight. I go towards the node. I try to get a little bit of damage up on that Mesmer who's free casting, but I screw it up. And at this point, I'm a little bit on my own, so I try and play for the node because I have some cooldowns available. So I use my heal into the Mesmer's spear, and my teammate comes to come and help me. I see an opportunity to secure the kill on this Mesmer, but here's a really key moment, okay? So the Mesmer's going to get away from me for a second here, and I have an opportunity. I can either chase this Mesmer, or I can grab this quick kill on mid with my team. So I choose to instead go for the quicker and easier kill on mid, and down the enemy Elementalist. You don't really want to get stuck chasing for too terribly long, especially when you have the opportunity to secure a much easier kill alongside your teammates. So it's always kind of the better play to play around your team and sort of amplify your force together and consolidate your damage on the same targets here. Now we've got this druid, this enemy druid, and man, this is a very, very hard build to fight. He has a lot of CC, but we're able to get a Jade Winds on him, that elite from Shiro. It's a 3-second stun, but you need to be sure you land it. It costs 50 energy, so that's one where you really need your stow weapon keybind ready to go. And here we're looking at our map to kind of take a notice of where we need to go next, and I see somebody is sneaking by us to our home node, so I go to match him. I use my riposting shadows to get onto the node, but you can see that Berserker's coming up, so I need to very, very quickly tend to him. So I get off of the enemy Elementalist and instead elect to pressure the enemy Berserker here. So I run out of cooldown, so I need to make a little bit of space and see if I can separate the two. I don't want to allow them to fight me 1v2. I want to break them off and fight them 1v1, and I get the opportunity to do so on the Berserker, and I secure the 2v1 down on him. But it's unfortunately the Ellie pops Shocking Aura, which CCs me while I'm trying to cleave the body, and so I'm unable to get the cleave, and the Ellie gets the res. Two teammates roll in, so here's something that's important, okay? Two teammates roll in, and so the Ellie is on me, my teammates are on the Berserker, so what do I choose to do? Do I go on the Berserker or do I go on the Ellie? I choose the Ellie because I think that my teammates should have no trouble at all killing that Berserker, and that was the truth. That was the case. So they kill him, and I secure the kill on the Ellie, and immediately I'm looking back at my minimap, and I see that I'm needed far. I'm going to see if I can peel for this thief. My thief really needs my help, so I pour it in, and I use my Spear 4 to pull the enemy Mesmer off of my thief, allowing him to just barely survive there. Now watch this. I'm going to keep the pressure on the Mesmer, and I'm actually going to get the down here. But take a look for a second. I've got 3 enemies, 1 right in front of me and 2 up top. And when you get it down in an outnumbered scenario like this, you have a choice to make. You can either cleave the body and greed for the kill, or you can leave and assume that the enemies will go for the res and you get to keep your life. And that's what I like to do. I elect to let them res their friend, and I'm going to pull back because I think that if I cleave that, it's just going to end up getting me killed. And we actually end up killing the enemy thief off of that play from me being outnumbered 1v3. So I think that was actually a pretty good trade, all things considered. The enemy Mesmer overextends just a little bit, and so we put a little bit of damage on him, and we are able to secure that kill. And immediately I'm looking for that Rifle Berserker, man, because that guy is scary, right? I really want to try and keep him pressured, but I'm looking at my map, and once again, somebody has snuck behind us, so we need to make a little bit of choice here. Do we go far to join that big fight, or do we go home to cover that? Or should we kind of watch the flank here and see if anybody's coming? So there we go. We actually just saw a name tag going towards home, but it's gone. So I'm going to assume that that guy's stealth, and that's the thief, and there he is. So I'm going to jump up here really quick to see if I can support my friend from the thief and the elementalist. The Ellie is low, so I put a little bit of damage on him. Swap to my sword to see if I can finish this kill and get that. My friend is very low. Let me see if I can hit him with shield 4. It goes out. And see if I can Jade Winds the guy off of him. And I think that that actually ended up landing and ended up saving my friend's life. So the Axe Thief, though, is still on him. And I believe that my ally here is a Power Mesmer. Or maybe he's Connie, but anyways, just he is something that is going to have a particularly hard time fighting this Condi Axe Thief. So I want to play very closely to him and see if I can help him to survive this, because this is not a fight that's good for him at all. So I end up landing a Spear 4 onto the enemy Thief, and then that secures the down on him. So from there, we successfully saved our Mesmer's life, and now we're just looking to get into mid. We need to fly in there before this LED caps it, and we just barely get onto the node, preventing the decap and holding the cap for our team. The LE gets away, and he goes towards our home node, and I need to think about that, because I know my Mesmer's back there, and he could potentially run into another situation where he's 2v1 again, so I'm going to look at that and kind of survey the map. Now, I can see another enemy is coming up off respawn here. He dodges my Jade Winds, so well done by him. I need to dodge some of his damage. I'm going to trust my Mesmer to fight that Elementalist, and I'm going to hold this node. I spectacularly whiff my Spear 4, and I'm getting hit with some rifle shots from the Berserker, so I immediately roll back, and I'm looking, where is this guy shooting me from? Because I need to basically give that my immediate attention as soon as I'm being shot by that Berserker's rifle. Because if I don't, I can get pretty much one shot by it. So I see that Berserker, and I teleport in, but here's the thing, this is a little bit too gutsy for me, because I'm now 2v1 against the Berserker in the alley. Get a little bit of a burst on Berserker, get him down under 10% health, I get my sword 3 off, I have my shield block, but I'm absolutely out of defensives at this point. He's getting some heals from the Elementalist. I'm going to go for one more burst on him here. He's at literally 1% health, but I've got absolutely nothing. I try to use my Connie Cleanse, but dodge in the middle of the cast and interrupt myself, and I could not pull off the 2v1 there. And here is where things get a little bit tricky, because we give up the whole map, and our lead is very, very quickly evaporating before our very eyes here. We're only up by around 100 points, and we have a massive hole to climb out of when it comes to the map state. They've got all 3 nodes. So I immediately get back to pressuring the Berserker, because if he runs wild, he's going to absolutely annihilate my team. So I get the down on him, but he went down next to a Ranger and an Elementalist, which means he's got a get out of jail free card, and he gets up. I'm getting shot by that rifle, so I need to immediately break line of sight so I don't continue to take that damage. My friend is up there and he's all alone, so I try and get up there and CC them to support my friend and peel the enemies off of him. And the Berserker gets away a little bit, so I keep the damage on him, and we end up securing the down, and we're on track to lose this game. If you look at the scoreboard, they are 100% catching up, so we need to make this happen very quickly. So we get the Berserker down, the LE down, and now we're working on the Ranger here. He's very, 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 very tanky, though. You're going to notice in higher level games, lots of people are running very tanky builds, and this is one of them. But we end up getting him in stealth, and so I go ahead and rotate out of there immediately, because I need to play as much of this map as I possibly can. I need to have a big presence and cover as many nodes as I can. So I'm looking to rotate into mid now. Having a look at my map to see who's around, I see that there is a down here. We want to secure this, so I immediately put pressure on here, see if we can catch the Thief with a Spear 4, and it works. The Spear 4 lands on the Thief, and we end up getting another down. And from here, we're just looking to cap this node, and I hopefully want to see my home node get defended, so I'm going to ping that for my friends to hopefully go back there and help defend. But sadly, they push into far, and that's okay. I mean, you can't expect your teammates to read your mind, and we have the mid node here, and this is all we need to win at this point. So that's about the end of this gameplay. Thank you so much for watching to this point. If you are interested in joining a PvP and World v World guild, I've got War Pigs linked in the description. There's lots of cool people in there that are really fans of Guild Wars 2's PvP and World v World for you to come and hang out with. And for those who are interested, here are the stats from the game. I'm somewhere in the platinum range, very, very low platinum range. And there are the stats. So that's the end of the video. Thanks again so much for watching, and I will see you guys next week for another video. Thanks very much.